Now, I know I talk about Call of Duty a lot. I've had entire videos on my channel completely dedicated to making fun of Call of Duty and even the people that play Call of Duty. And honestly, it's all in good fun. And I've even made a few videos that say that I genuinely do like Call of Duty because occasionally I do like myself some Call of Duty. Call of Duty. For 2 years straight, we had both Ghost and Advanced Warfare. Both of them were below average in terms of COD standards. And while Black Ops 3 is a good Call of Duty game, one of the better ones, it really doesn't stick out that much. And honestly, it can't fix the basics. I hear all you people saying, oh, they need to take out all this futuristic bullcrap and just plop it back down into the COD 4 through COD Ghost stages. Which is the exact opposite of what they have to do. I don't think Advanced Warfare or Black Ops 3 are particularly underwhelming games simply for the fact that they're different. In fact, that's the entire reason that I think Call of Duty is mind-numbingly frustrating. Is because the game refused to change until Advanced Warfare, and Advanced Warfare was a dud. There's just a few things that Activision has to do. To start off, it's pretty obvious to say that Call of Duty needs to stop being a yearly franchise. And Call of Duty also has to kick Sledgehammer off the market. Sledgehammer isn't really necessary to have around. Advanced Warfare wasn't anything special, and really, the game does nothing for the franchise. Instead, focus on the two names that people actually know in Call of Duty, Treyarch and Infinity Ward. Yeah, I know Infinity Ward has been dudding a lot lately, but you know what? They created the supposed best COD game, COD 4, so... and the supposed worst COD game, yeah, whatever. Anyway, my point is, you need to stop making Call of Duty a yearly franchise. And the entire reason that Activision does this is to pump out more cash every year. Which is dumb. They're so greedy. They kind of remind me of Bungie, honestly. That's just... no. If Sledgehammer still is in the business, which I don't really know if they are or not, that means that every year well, not every year, but for every COD game made by a different company between Infinity Ward and Treyarch, if you just make it like every other year that they come out, then one development team has 4 years to make an excellent game. And everyone's going to be waiting for 2 years straight for the next COD game, so it's probably going to be bought a lot. You're not going to make sales every year by making Call of Duty over and over and over and over again. No. Stop doing that. People are going to get bored of you eventually. What you have to do is keep people waiting. I want Call of Duty to die, personally, but I'm sitting here telling you how to keep it alive. To consider, before Advanced Warfare, each development company only had 2 years to make a game, which is a fair amount of time. You can obviously tell that they didn't have the resources to do so, apparently, despite all the cash that they make, because the games did nothing to innovate until Advanced Warfare. And Advanced Warfare was off a completely different company, so yeah. And Black Ops 3 picked up on the trend and just kind of did it. I don't care how long you say Black Ops 3 was in development. There's no way to say that it didn't kind of get that whole futuristic thing off of Advanced Warfare. So honestly, I don't think Advanced Warfare is going back to I don't think Call of Duty is going back to the past. We're just kind of too far in there. Past or present are out of the frickin' statement. The future is where Call of Duty is going, and honestly, if you don't listen to me, Call of Duty isn't going to have a future to make future games in. Other than stopping your yearly release bullcrap, you also need to fix the basics of your game. Every year since Call of Duty 4, COD has been plagued by problems. Similar story plots are just one of the things I can name off, but the real annoying ones are the things that you can find in competitive multiplayer. For one, you make the games too fast-paced and just mindless that no one cares to play any other game modes other than Team Deathmatch, where there's no objective other than just shoot people. Also, your spawning systems are broken. In fact, your spawns even have a routine. Have you ever 1v1'd someone in a sniper battle on any of the Black Ops games? On Nuketown, every time you spawn, you will instantly die because they'll be standing in the center of the map because spawns have a routine. Spawns shouldn't have a routine. There should be a specific few spots on the map, at least 10 spots. 10 possible spawn points on the map for you to spawn when you die. And all of the spawn points have to be away from an enemy. A 6v6, 10 spawn points. You're safe. No. No, you're not. Because the spawn points have a rotation. This is even a problem in multiplayer, where someone will spawn right in front of you. You basically have no choice but to kill them. Or that can happen to you. You'll spawn and then instantly die. Or someone will spawn right behind you. Or you'll spawn right behind someone. It's just a big plethora of vice versa, such in your situation. And it's dumb. CoD does nothing to change this either. It's not difficult. Just stop giving your spawns a routine. Also, find some way to balance your weapons. I've noticed that in Advanced Warfare, there were about 30 weapons, but only about 5 of them were popularly used. And the number one, about 90% of the people in all the matches were using the Ball 27. And my 21-year-old brother, who is a very, very biased Call of Duty fan, he's a little bit biased, okay? He's like in the middle ground of bias. So, he came to me saying how great Black Ops 3 was, saying that all the weapons were finally balanced and that there's no more Call of Duty bullcrap or someone with an infinitely better weapon kills you because you're not a high enough level yet. Yeah, he was wrong. I go in there and I see guns like the Gorgon, the freaking other guns that I don't even bother to know the name of, because none of them are particularly memorable. Name one gun in Call of Duty that's actually memorable, other than the Intervention from MW2. None of them are unique in any way, which I guess is a difficult feat to have in a multiplayer shooter, but if you're going into the future, there are quite a few ideas that you can partake in. Of course, due to the game's fast pace, it's kind of hard to have any unique weapons, because usually bullets are just kind of being thrown around, so there's not really any time to be unique about anything. There's no thought, strategy, no attention span is required to play these games because of how they're designed. Also, let me mention that you need dedicated servers. You've been promising us since Black Ops 2 that you were going to give us dedicated servers, yet you're proceeding to lie. We still have to rely on a host. Our enjoyment of the game lies purely if some freaking little kid is hitching off his freaking Walmart connection. We're just lagging everywhere and praying to God that it'll leave so that the rotation can hit to someone who has a better connection to be the host. And usually being host, you didn't lag at all. So you just wrecked everyone. And this happens a lot. Halo 5 has dedicated servers, and it rarely lags. When it does lag, which can happen frequently sometimes, it's not there for very long. And even then, it still detects your hits. If someone's dashing around all over the place, just freaking spazzing out, if you hit them in the head and it shows a hit marker, that damage stays there. They can tell if you actually hit someone. But in Call of Duty, you don't know what's going on. Bullets flying everywhere, people flying everywhere, you don't know what you're doing, you're here, there. All those locations were just achieved in 1/2 of a second. Yeah, bad. Also, give us some kind of unique third mode. You've been recycling zombies, survival. Hopefully that your fabled Modern Warfare 4 doesn't have Spec Ops again. Usually you always have modes that aren't campaign or specifically multiplayer, which are good. It spices up the game. After you beat the multiplayer, well, after you beat the campaign and kind of getting a little bit more multiplayer, they're good to come to, you know? I gotta say, both Advanced Warfare's and Black Ops 3's zombies were not special. The zombies used to be good, but then they just kind of ran out of ideas. I gotta say, Black Ops 2 is my favorite CoD game, but I gotta say, there are no good zombies maps, except for maybe Mob of the Dead. And even then, Mob of the Dead was super easy. And even when they tried to spice things up in Ghosts, Extinction Mode was horrible. It was not interesting at all. I had no interest in it. Maybe a few people did, but not for me. Yeah. Activision, you need to stop doing what you're doing. Your franchise is going to die off the longer that you're doing this. You need to stop, you need to take a break, you need to tell your developers to make a game every 2 years. You're giving them a whole lot more time, and you're making yourself even more money that you can bear to part without for 2 years. I'm the Dolphin Burglar, or Dolphins Co. Signing off. Stay wet.